right. Welcome to the Clutch Burners podcast. Once again, this is your home for stick shift drag racing, stick shift tech. And in this episode, we have, well, first of all, my co-host, the Canadian Chuck Norris over there. Hi, Rich.
Thanks, Bill. Bill, Bill's a builder these days, hey?
We could talk about that, yeah.
And our guest star is some crazy pickup driving stick shift man, John Marks.
Yes, John Marks. Welcome to have you here.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. I was kind of surprised when you guys reached out. Kind of excited.
I saw your pass and I thought that guy should make like 1370 shirts because you were using like all of the track, and I've been there before too. So
yeah, we're still. That was my first full power quarter mile pass, where I'd actually turned it up some. So it's I'm still learning the truck. Let's put it that way.
Nice. That's awesome.
It looks like a fun ride.
Yeah. What year is that? It's a Datsun, right?
No, it's a Toyota. It's a 1980 Toyota pickup SR5 long bed.
Yeah, it's a practical vehicle.
Yeah. It was it wasn't supposed to be what you see. It just kind of evolved to what it is now.
Have you had it for a long time?
Yeah, I bought it in October of 2019. Bone stock. It was 20R powered, 5-speed. And it was just supposed to be a shop truck, just something that we drove around and grabbed parts with. And you know how it is. One thing led to another. Here we are.
So some people might say you've ruined it, but maybe not.
Yeah. I haven't heard that part yet. I mean, the 20R, all 83 horsepower of it.
Whoo! Calm down, John.
Yeah, there's a video on my Instagram when I first got it running with the 20R. I tried to do a burnout and the tires wouldn't spin fast enough to create any smoke. So tire blazer, it was fun.
Nice. So it went from being an actual shop truck. And then did it haul the motor that you put in it? It's Newhart?
Yes, actually, it did. Yeah, it did the first time. The first time that I went and picked it up. So, let's backstory on it. It was supposed to be a shop truck. So it was a 22R or 20R 5-speed. And the original plan was to do a Toyota 2RZ, which is out of your 96 to 04 Tacoma.
Okay.
I had one of those. I built a turbo manifold for it, and then I started the business that was basically an LS based performance shop. And then I started acquiring parts. So I did some work for a T56, came across an LS1, picked the factory LS1 up, and that was the original engine for the truck. I did go pick it up with the truck though, and I could probably find pictures of that as well. I used to document everything on this thing when I first started building it.
Nice. That's almost like,
awesome.
What's that movie with, man, I forget the name of it, where he has those people around the table and he's feeding them food and it's actually their brains. Like, what's that movie?
Oh,
Hannibal Lecter, right?
Hannibal Lecter. Yeah.
Yeah. I could picture it, but I can't remember what movie it is.
Yeah, it's almost like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I knew its fate was coming.
Right.
And then, it just kind of, I did a Mustang 2 front suspension in the beginning. When I was building it the first time, it was supposed to be more of like your pro touring style. Okay. So I bought a set of CCW classics, and that were 17 by 12 square, and basically built the truck around those. I liked the pro touring style at the time, so I wanted it to handle well, take off well, and stop well. So you had
17 12s on all the corners.
Originally on all four, and then I ended up making the front 17 by 9 because it became more of a headache of it rubbing everything with being so wide. But yeah, it was just a factory LS1 with a 78, 76, and a T56. It lasted 103 miles before it started knocking. So
did it have
boost for you putting through it?
So this was in my early days of all of this. So I got excited one day and got on it, and it made like 23 pounds. And it wasn't long after that it started knocking. And so again, I'm pretty good at self-inflicted injuries on this thing. So it's just one of those things that happen.
You got to find the limits, right?
Yeah, I mean,
It
come on.
wasn't, but it wasn't supposed to be that fast.
And that was on like 91 octane.
No, so I'm down in Cincinnati, Ohio, and we have E85 about everywhere.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's been on E85 for since 2020. Yeah, it was just the tune was basically what I call a base tune. I didn't get a chance. It was enough to start it up and put some miles on it to make sure everything was fine. And then I
And
got
heard it. And
I
heard
got
it.
throttle happy one day, and
Yeah.
just it was too much.
So it had the idle up, the startup, the idle, and the hurt me tune. That was the tune that was in it.
Yeah. I didn't
Okay.
at the time. I wasn't familiar with Holly, and I had a guy tuning for me, and it was basically like, hey, go put some miles on this, make sure it doesn't leak, make sure there's no issues, and then we'll strap it on the dyno and tune it. And well, my foot got the best of me, and I didn't make it that far.
Also, the one thing he forgot was to strap the 2x4 underneath the gas pedal. That's what he forgot to do.
Yeah, the throttle limiter would have probably been smart looking back, but
Right.
I
Is
also
it
feel if that wouldn't have happened, it wouldn't have evolved to what it is now, because I probably would have just been fine with driving it and enjoying it. But
nice?
yeah,
So
you live and
so,
learn.
so dive into what it is now. You said it was a
Okay.
Mustang 2. That sounds like it's not that
Yes,
anymore.
it is not. So it it was a Mustang 2 front suspension. It's had a 9-inch in it from the beginning. I had at the time I had bought a really cheap eBay 4-link for the rear, and it was just like your polyurethane bushing parallel 4-link, and it worked for a long time until
And
so like let's
the ride was comfortable.
it was great. Oh man, it rode and drove phenomenal. I've never been serious about drag racing. About 3 years ago, maybe 3.5, my buddy has a pretty quick Mustang, and he started getting me to the track more. Going down there and running it wasn't good. I couldn't get any better than like a 1.960 foot on slicks. It wasn't set up proper. That winter, I think it was, let's see, we're coming on 25, 23, or maybe even 22. I cut the rear end out, and I might be getting ahead of myself. I did the 850 cage, and then the next winter, I cut the rear suspension out and did a Tin Soldier 4-link with a Moser Fab 9. That kind of started my uphill of getting faster and faster. When I did that, I want to say it was like a 10.0 truck. Maybe it might have gotten into the nines. Eventually, I started turning it up. And last fall, about this time last year, it was going 920s, 930s at 153.
So
I entered a
was
stick.
that kind of the beginning of the bad decisions, or?
That was kind of we're in the middle of it at this point. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
After the LS1 blew up, it sat in the garage for a year, and I built a 408 for it. While the 408 was getting built, I ended up buying a T56 Magnum, and I ended up going to an 8596 turbo. I kind of just upgraded everything over that year.
Mm-hmm.
So it was always a 408, but I never turned it up more than like 12 or 13 pounds. Like to me, it was a fast street truck. It's always the whole purpose of this truck was just supposed to be to have a fun street vehicle that I can beat on the street. And if I want to go to the track, it would do work at the track. I did the Tin Soldier. So we'll come back. I did some Tin Soldier 4-link. I entered a stick shift race last fall and thought that I was going to do pretty well, and got the crap kicked out of me. Those Mustangs are very light. So all the Mustangs were light. They were all on face-plated transmissions. And I was like, wow, I guess my truck's not as fast as I thought it was. Happened to come back after that weekend and just threw my engine and trans set up for sale on Instagram just to see, and it sold the next day. So I basically sold, it was intake to oil pan, balancer to tail shaft. I sold the entire setup, and that's where
With the
this
turbo?
winter, yeah, I sold everything. At this point, it had an 88 102 on it. And just the more I thought about it, the reason I did it, it was an iron block, and this thing with me in it last year weighed just under 3,500 pounds. So it looks light because it's a small truck, but it's heavy. It's really heavy.
Rich, he just said it was under 3,500 pounds and it's heavy.
Well,
it is a truck, and it does look light. Ours don't look, well, mine might look like light, but it's not light either. But anyways.
yeah, so I
Yeah.
mean, you would be surprised because it's an old or import truck, people think it weighs 2,300 pounds. I'm like, man, I wish it did. That would be phenomenal. It was just under 3,500 pounds with me in it last year. So that was
Ma-
kind of got my wheels turning and thinking.
Well,
And
in defense of that little truck with the 22R in it, it probably did weigh 3,000
a lot
pounds, right?
less.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to say with the 22R, they're in the mid 2000s. They're probably 2,500 pounds.
Yeah. See,
With
so it was. And then you ruined it.
originally, yeah. By the time you add the 9-inch and the roll
Yeah.
cage and the Mustang 2 was really heavy. So it had an iron block. I threw it up for sale, sold the entire setup, and then I like to fabricate. I love welding. I love building. So my wheels started turning. Went to my buddy's house that had the Fox body, started taking a bunch of measurements, and realized that if I cut the factory frame off at the firewall, I can fab a Fox body Mustang front K member to make it fit. Um, so that's kind of where this past winter was. Chopped it off at the firewall and started adding tubing. And now the front suspension is long travel Fox body. It's got TBM brakes. It's a chromoly K member from Team Z.
And
I narrowed it 2 inches
Jeez.
to make it fit the truck.
Rich,
Because
you know
if
what
not,
I'm sorry to interrupt you, John,
no,
but
no, no, please
you know
do.
what I appreciate so much, Rich, is I can see him looking down at his notes. I love this.
Yes. I knew we were going to get into it, and I was like, "There's too much to remember." So I have 1, 2, 4 pages of notes of
Oh,
what I've done to this thing. So
John, we love nerds. We love it.
yeah, it's I'm still new to all of this. So like I wanted to make sure that I've watched all your podcasts, so I wanted to make sure that I had everything I needed that you guys would ask,
Well,
and I
thank you.
knew it was coming.
He's new. You're new, but you're going 820s.
Yeah,
Right.
so as
In
far as like I said,
1,370 feet.
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
drag
it's a
racing stuff.
750 pass, but
Yeah, I've like I said, it's only been about 3 years since I've actually been making passes. I did a bunch back in like 2006, 2007-ish, and then I just walked away from it all for a long time. So the front end now is long travel Fox body. And it seems to be working. I ended up building a new engine. I did an aluminum 6-liter out of a Gen 4. Um, just your off the shelf parts. Callie's Compstar, CCW crank, Callie's H beams, diamond pistons.
Did you buy that motor off of Instagram?
No, so I actually bought it out of a junkyard. It's the LFA block, which comes in your hybrids. A lot of people don't. I mean, I'm sure people know about them. It's the strongest factory aluminum 6-liter you can buy. Where the
Interesting.
skirts go to the mains, there's no windows like in every other aluminum LS. Like where your piston skirts come down, or I guess your sleeves, they tie
Okay.
into the mains on all 8. Your LS2s do not. Your center 4, they have windows, and so it's makes them weak, we'll say. I've heard. But no, it's just
Why do you think they put that in the hybrid? Like you think it would be in a
dude,
van or a truck would have that style of block.
No, I have no idea. Because even if you were to pull an LS9 apart or an LSA, an LS7, they all have those windows between the bottom of the sleeves and the mains. And so as
Interesting.
far as I know, this is the only, I could be wrong. I'm sure I'm a little off, but this is the only aluminum engine that the sleeves connect to the mains.
I would say the only thing you might have to watch out for is I had an aluminum Pontiac block, but it actually cracked between each of the cylinders and went all the way down into the mains.
Interesting.
And somebody said the LS motors have a window there so it can't crack into the mains. So you
Makes
just
sense.
have to keep an eye on that. That's all. But do you know how thick the material is between the 2 cylinders?
Oh man, 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch. It's pretty thick.
Geez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was enough that I ended up buying 3 of these blocks. The first one, the first one we thought was an LFA was a LS2. I guess they changed them in mid-year on the hybrids. And then since then, I've picked up probably another 3 or 4 of them, and I've been giving them to buddies because
And-
I got a bunch of buddies that want to go fast, and
what
I
do you
got a
pay
guy
for
that gets,
what do you pay for one of these at a junkyard?
for a complete long block, about $1,000.
Okay.
So not terrible. And then I usually sell the cylinder heads and the rotating assembly. So when it's all said and done, I've got between $300 and $500 in the block. So it's the LS cheat code.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
Well, and it's so
Rich
funny.
and I are
People-
both. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Sorry.
people say to me all the time, "I'm so glad you kept the Pontiac," and I'm like, "Well, my wallet ain't."
Yeah.
I mean,
It works.
yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
it's one of those things where a buddy of mine has the same, almost identical setup, and I think he's running 450s or so in the eighth. And so I was like, it's aluminum and it's very easy to get, and I kind of mimicked what he did, and like so far it's working pretty well for me.
And what heads do you have on it?
A Trick Flow 225 that are CNC ported.
So on the LS, is that a high port or is that just a Ford thing?
Yeah, it's just a Ford thing. The high
Oh,
port
okay.
stuff is.
Okay.
Yeah, the LSs you just have you have your 220s, 225s, and that's all just runner length, I believe, or combustion chamber sizes. It's slightly different depending on what the bore is of the engine. So I know
And
I couldn't run these on the 5.3. It had to be a
so
6 liter or
Hmm.
better.
so 6 liters of 4-inch bore?
4-inch bore, yes. Yep.
Maybe 4030 now, but yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm 4005
Okay.
when I had
Nice.
this on bills. Yeah, like the second block that I bought was 20 over, and I didn't know it, and took it to get built. And they're like, "This one's 20 over. Are you sure you want to use it?" And I was like, "No, just put it to the side. I'll come pick it up, and I'll bring you another one." And I had to grab another one and take it up.
Why
It's
why didn't
not.
why didn't you just re-sleeve it?
It would be with the factory sleeves and the 6 liter, there's not really a point to put Dartons in it unless it's not like the 5.3. So they sleeve the 5.3s and make them a 427. But the 6 liter, I wanted to stay 6 liter based. So I mean, it wasn't really a huge deal. I just had them build it into a stroker, and I ended up selling it to another customer that needed it, and took mine up there and had them build it.
So it's a 30 over now, then, is it,
No,
or
no, mine's a
stock?
4-inch bore. Yeah. They just honed it and
Okay.
cleaned it up. Yeah.
So you could essentially go to the junkyard if you had to throw a piston in the thing to get you home.
If I needed to, yes. Yep.
What are you
Seen
running
that
a
before.
factory piston in it?
No, so it's got
No.
let's see, we got Cali's Comstar, center counterweight crank, Cali's Ultra H-beam rods, Diamond custom pistons, ARP mains, ARP 625 head studs. So it's kind of like a off the shelf build. You can order all these parts from Brian Tooley and have them at your door in the next couple days if you want to build a nice LS.
And what's the ring package? Does Diamond send those with rings or do you get your own rings?
I would have to go back and look at the paperwork. So I will assemble the long block, but at this power, I'm not comfortable with myself assembling the short block. I'm sure I could, but I would rather just pay the engine shop to do it because they do them on a daily basis.
Sure.
And they know all the tips, all the not the shortcuts, but all the little secrets that make them live. I didn't think about getting the ring stuff. I could have grabbed the paperwork and got that too.
Not a big deal. So as I'm looking at this video here, I'm having a little bit of shop envy. I see at least 2 or 3 2-posts. So what do you do, John? Besides ruin vintage 80s Toyota pickup trucks.
I own a performance shop in Cincinnati called JTR Performance.
Okay.
So we got started with a really small shop. It was like 1,300 square feet, and this was in 2019. And then we moved here in early 23. We're coming up on 3 years in this building. So we used to do a lot of LS swaps. I've kind of gotten away from it. They're just kind of more of a headache than they are worth it anymore. But we do a lot of late model performance and then a lot of maintenance. And then the GM is really good with their lifters in their trucks. So we fix a lot of AFM DOD failures. So it's just kind of we're a smaller shop. There's only 3 of us here.
So what you're saying is GM is really good at giving you business with their lifter problems.
I love it. Yes,
Okay.
yes. Yeah, I'll take all the lifter failures that they want to feed me.
So
We
is
make
that
pretty quick work of it.
is it a warranty thing? Like, educate me. I'm not a big LS guy.
No, so
yeah.
in 2007, GM came out with their active fuel management, displacement on demand, and it basically shuts almost all of their V8s, minus like your true LS3 cars, your LS7, and maybe your LS9s. All the V8 cars have displacement on demand. So when you get on the highway, it shuts down 4 cylinders and it makes it a 4-cylinder. It just deactivates. Trying to think of which ones. Off the top of my head, I can't remember, but it's 2 on the passenger bank, 2 on the driver bank, make it a 4-cylinder. Well, those lifters are notorious for failing. So I've seen them at 30,000 miles, and I've seen them at 280,000 miles. GM, if it's out of warranty, they're replacing the engine. And that's between, like on your newer trucks, I think that the last few we've had come in that were quoted by the dealership were $10,000 to $13,000 to replace the engine.
And how do they do the displacement on displacement on demand? Does it shut? Yeah.
The valley cover on those, they basically it shuts the oil flow off to the lifters, and it just allows them to collapse. And they're a lot taller than your normal like LS7 lifters. They got like another inch on them. It just allows them to collapse, and it doesn't open the valves. It's really
And
weird.
so the piston basically goes up and down and
Yep.
rides against the air cushion.
Yeah.
And you could feel like my G8 had it, and
Yep.
you could feel it when it kicked in. And I never had any problems with my G8. It had 350,000 kilometers on it when I sold it, but it never really had any problems. I think oil changes, all that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
might help. Sounds like some of them just plain old fail.
Yep. And then people keep driving on them, and then it wipes the camshaft out. And at that point, you're
And then
pulling the
it's
engine and cleaning it all.
then it's actually a 4-cylinder.
Yeah. Yeah. Or a 7. Depends on how bad it gets.
Yeah. Nice.
All right, back to the truck. So it's aluminum block now.
Yep.
What clutch are you running in it?
Black Magic.
Defiant.
Single 11-inch or
Yes,
10?
single Defiant 11-inch. Yep. Or maybe it's a 10. It's a Defiant. I can't remember if it's a 10 or 11.
6 lever.
Yeah.
It's a 6 lever. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the transmission is I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think most of the 11s are 6-finger, and the 10s might be. Well, no, Bill, yours is a 10-inch, but it's a 3 or a 6.
6.
I want to say it's a
6, okay.
10-inch.
Yeah,
I just had it out
10-inch
last week. I just had it out
6 lever.
Friday. I'm pretty sure it's 10-inch. I just had it out Friday and was looking at it, but I didn't.
Yeah.
So I ended up talking to Kale last year when I was building it, and kind of got his suggestion on what clutch and what to do, and I did that. And then as far as the transmission, it's a T56 Magnum that's got a G-force gear set that RPM transmission's built for me. It's been great. That's probably the best upgrade I could have ever done to a stick shift car, was put a face-plated trans in it. It's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. People who've never driven one before, they worry about, am I going to be able to get it in gear? And I'm like, getting it in gear is not a problem.
That's the easy part.
In fact, you can put it in any gear you want at any speed.
It probably took me, I don't know, 10 or 15 passes to get comfortable with it. I was short shifting. I was pulling it out of gear before I was ready, and before it was ready for me. And it ground a few times going into gears, but now that I've got 25 or 30 passes under my belt with it, it's easy. It's a lot easier now than it was in the beginning. It just kind of falls in place right when I want it to. It makes it nice.
And are you using a
doing the same
clutchless
shift cut as Bill?
Yeah.
Do what?
What's the clutchless shifting technique you're using?
So I basically drive it into the limiter, and I have the 8500 limiter, and then I have it kicking down 1800 RPM for the next gear change.
1800.
I learned that. Yeah, I learned that from your guys' podcast. I think it was the Moore Camaros.
Yeah.
When he was talking about it.
More horsepower.
Yeah. Yep. So I tried it, and I was like, oh, this is nice. This works really well.
You said 8500.
Bill's going to tell you could probably shorten it up a bit, probably to 1500. But
yeah, I have mine at 1500.
Really? And you guys both have Magnums as well?
Yeah, Rich uses a different strategy, but this is like a 3-pack of the same transmission, basically.
Okay.
All three of us have that. I'm almost positive mine is set up on 1500, and it seems to work pretty well.
Okay. I have to try that, because I remember him saying that maybe they did 1800 because they were on a Terminator X, and it's a little laggier than the Dominator. I'd have to go back and watch it now, but like I said, I had a book of notes from every time I would watch your guys' podcast, because I would watch it while I was building the truck over the winter, and I would just take notes from everybody and try to make it work for what I had going on.
That's
now, do you guys, what input shafts do you guys have?
Crickets. Go ahead, Rich.
I have 2 transmissions. Both of them have 29 spline. I have one with a PPG gear set and one with a G-force gear set.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, and I switched
then the
to
output on.
Sorry, go ahead,
Bill.
Yeah, so I have the 29. I have one transmission. I have the 29 spline G-force gear set or input shaft, the Ford one.
Yeah. Have you had any problems with the G-force input shaft?
Relatively no. The 26 spline, I have a whole bucket full of twisted ones.
Yeah. Okay. So mine's 26 spline, then it's not 29.
Yeah, and then the 29 spline, I have a very, very slight twist to it, but
okay,
I'm not worried about it yet.
Yeah, when I first put this together, I mean, I drove it on the street for a couple weeks before I left for my first event, and had a rear main leak and pulled it out. And just on the street, I twisted the G-force input shaft. It was a 26 spline, and then
Really?
yeah, and I called RPM, and they were like, "It happens." I was saying, "Well, how? Like, it's not making any boost right now." And they're like, "Yeah, no reason, just it happens." And so they're about 2
Interesting.
hours away from me. I ran it up there, and they put a Liberty 300M input shaft in it for me, and I haven't had any problems since.
What's
Tell me more about that.
yeah, same.
Which part?
The Liberty input shaft.
Yeah, so I deal with Cameron up at RPM, and when I pulled it out, like I said, I had maybe we'll say half a dozen street hits on it, just trying to make sure everything was dialed. It was a new setup. I pulled it out and it was twisted, and I called him, and he was just like, "Yeah, shit happens. I don't know what to tell you." And I was like, "Well, can you fix it?" I had a drag and drive in like 2 weeks. And so he said, "Yeah, bring it up." I raced it up there, and they didn't have another G-force input shaft to put in it. And so we were trying to figure out what to do or how we had to go about it. And they had a Liberty 300M input shaft, and they threw it in and said, if I break that, I have bigger problems because it should not break at this point. And
So it's still 26 spline.
yep, it's still a
And,
26 spline.
I've never heard of this.
and it
Keep
works with your
going.
counter shaft.
Yeah, there's a direct replacement.
Is it
So
is it a 2-piece? I think that was the next question Rich was going to ask.
yes. Yeah, so I think when you pull the front plate off, the input shaft comes off with it. It's a Magnum main shaft. So I've never taken it apart myself. I took it up there and watched them tear it down, and it was I know the input shaft came off as one piece, and then they put the new one on and slapped it back together for me. Well, I wouldn't say slapped it back together, put the transmission back together for me, and it's been fine since.
So it's a Liberty 300M. So what Liberty transmission is that in? Do you know?
Well, Liberty makes gears for the T56 Magnum. So if you did like a face-plated Liberty trans, this would be the input shaft that they would use for the Magnum.
Interesting. Because I always thought because I used to have a Liberty faceplated T56 Magnum, but to my knowledge, it was just a factory gear set that they faceplated.
Yeah, and I think it's got something to do with that because I remember them telling me that the gear is TIG welded on. So I think the input shaft is 300M, and then they TIG weld the gear on. If I'm not, I could be wrong, but I think I remember them telling me that because I tried to buy an extra one just to have it with me, and they said it was like I would have to send in the G-force input shaft, and then it was going to be like 8 to 10 weeks for the turnaround time. And so I was like, well, if it breaks, I'll just jump up to 29 spline. But they said I shouldn't break it. And I had the trans out this weekend, and it was straight. It wasn't twisted or anything. So I was like, we're in good shape. I've
That's
been beating the
awesome.
snot out of this thing.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. I'm I had a spare. I have 2 input shafts for my PPG gear set. And so I actually, at the shop right now, I've got a twisted 29 spline, and then I have my PPG 29 spline. And so we're gonna mate the G-force gear with a PPG input shaft.
Nice.
But I might have to call up RPM too. And is it Jeremy? What did you?
Yeah, I
what's his
deal with
name?
I deal with Cameron, but Jeremy could take
Cam.
care of you as well.
I know that
There's-
Will Hogan talks about him as well. Says he's had great service with those guys and stuff
Yeah.
too. So
Man, they're about maybe 2.5 hours northwest of me, and I've bought a ton of transmissions through them over the years. And so when it came time to buy this one, I was on the fence between getting it from Tick or getting it from RPM. And so I called Cameron, and they built it for me. I said I'd rather have them build it than Tick just because of they're close, and if I have any issues, I could run it up there and drop it off versus trying to do shipping back to North
Totally.
Carolina.
Are you running the
Yep.
billet tick front cover on it?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
So that was when I had them build it, it's got the Tick billet front cover with spray bar and input shaft speed sensor, and then it has the Tick billet shift forks.
Yeah, I feel like
And do you
with
you-
the G-force gear set, I don't know what shift forks, what other options do you have other than
I have
you
no
can
idea.
run?
because it won't use the factory
Trying
one.
to think if you can. I think it will actually, because I
Will it?
broke. Yeah, I broke the factory ones. That was
think
at the one
I think
event.
I did
remember?
too. Yeah, I think I did too. And the tick one is much better.
Yeah,
It
and
has
then we went to
3
the,
pads on it. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if you're getting a faceplated trans with G-force, you might as well just do the shift forks at the same time. That's kind of they tried talking me out of doing the front plate and said it wasn't necessary. And I was like, look, if I'm spending the money on this trans, what's an extra little
Yeah.
bit of money at this point versus having to
Do you
worry
know?
about it potentially breaking later?
Yeah.
Do you know if they put the billet shift lug or shift the little
Where the
kind of be
shifter
set
goes
up to?
in?
No, it's actually the piece on the shifter rail way up in the transmission that it actually selects what gear you're in. It's just got a
Oh,
little pin that sticks out of it. Um, I broke one recently on the way home from the track. I know that Chris Hine has broke one, Bill's broke one, and so PPG makes a billet one
okay.
that Tick sells. But we're both going to sick week together. I bring a spare, so I
Yeah.
don't have a spare billet one, but I do have a spare one. So, and I know
Yeah.
how to change it. So, I'll probably have all my tools, but
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. I didn't think I was gonna get lucky and get a ticket, but I did. At 8:58. I was just kept hitting refresh on my phone, refresh, 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 and it said sold out. And then at 9 o'clock it said sold out, and I was like, man, it never even said available. And then I hit it 2 more times, and it popped up available. And I used Google Shop, and it checked
yep.
out immediately. And I was like, holy smokes, I made it! And then I got the email confirmation, and I was like, we're going to sick week.
I
Let's go.
That's awesome.
Nice.
So let's back up a bit.
Sure.
So you made all those mods. How was
Yep.
your first pass out? How was the
So
first time out?
I got the truck together, let's see, April-ish. And at the end of May, I did Back to the Streets drag and drive, the no prep drag and drive.
Okay.
I
Yep.
I had ran out of time before the event to make any test passes at all. So the only passes I had were just up and down the street, making sure everything was working. Um, Made it to Back to the Streets, and I ended up taking stick shift for I ended up taking first place in stick shift in that event, and it did exactly what it was
Sweet.
supposed to. The truck was on like 15 pounds the whole weekend, so nothing blazing fast, but it it worked. This front suspension worked, the rear was working, the clutch was working. We had to do some adjustments on the clutch the first day, and then after that, I basically just left it alone. And I ended up making, I think, 9 passes that week, 3 per day, and yeah, it somehow came out on top.
What kind of times?
yeah.
So it was a no prep, no time drag and drive. And
Oh,
when I signed up for it, I had didn't none of that registered to me. It was just a drag and drive, and it was the next state over in Indiana. And I was like, well, here's where I'll get my feet wet, and I'll learn what I need to bring with me, what tools I'll need, and what extra parts. So I signed up for it one night, and then the next morning I checked the email, and it was like, thanks for signing up for our no prep drag and drive. And I was like, no prep? I'm not good on a prep track, let alone a no prep deal. So uh yeah, so then I kind of panicked for a few minutes, and then I was like, "Well, whatever. It's going to be fun regardless. It's 4 days of racing. Like I can't. What else can you do? Like it'll be a good time." And we set the truck up to where it was 50, I think 53% rear bias. I got 250 pounds basically on the tailgate, and it worked. By the end of the week, I kept just adding a little bit more boost and a little bit more boost, and I'm not sure what the time was. Again, I'm a rookie, so I didn't take the draggy with me. They wouldn't tell me any times at all. After the event was over, I went up and asked him, I'm like, can you give me any information about roughly what I was running 8th mile? And the only pass that they had was like a 570 at 129 or 130, I think. I was like, well, that's not bad.
nice.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
And
First time
so,
out.
That's
That's
getting with it.
awesome.
yeah, it was kind of it was good, man. The first track was awesome, and I got some data from that. Our second track, the first track was Bunker Hill, and it was great. It's the first drag strip in Indiana, and so it's just a neat old place. And then our second track was Brown County, Indiana, and
Oh, sweet.
yeah, so like everybody talks about it. So like I got there and the energy was awesome. Make my first pass, it did what it was supposed to. I go up for round 2 and I broke the drive shaft on the 1-2 shift. I was like, oh man, I'm done. Nothing we can do about it. They towed me back, and some guy came up and was like, hey, what happened? And I was like, I twisted the drive shaft off at the yoke. Yeah, I had a 4-inch aluminum. And he's like, "Hey, call this number and he'll take care of you." I'm like, "It's 6 p.m. on a Friday. This guy's not answering the phone." Well, he answered the phone. From the time I called him, he was 50 minutes away from the track, I called him, gave him my measurements of what I needed. We made it to his house and back in an hour and 45 minutes, and I made third round and ended up winning third
Oh
round.
my
Holy shit.
God.
And so some guys so I didn't have a truck. I talked to another stick shift guy. They were following along with a camper that they were staying in. So they unhooked the camper. We hopped in their Cummins and got on the highway, and this guy was flying. He's like, "We're making it back." He said, "We're fine." And I'll never. You know how Brown County has the hill that comes down? We drove down, and I got out with the drive shaft and took off running. And Matt Lang, the guy that puts on Back to the Streets, was like, "Where the hell did you get a painted drive shaft in an hour and 30 minutes?" I said, "I don't have time to talk. They're calling us up now. I'll explain everything later." And so, yeah, it was like, I think from the time it broke to back together, it was like an hour and 45, maybe an hour and 50 minutes. And
And
went back up, made my third pass.
it didn't
It
tear
did what it
anything
was
else up.
supposed to. No, it just split the yoke right where they welded it, the tube to the rear yoke.
Nice. Nice.
So it was that was my fun story for the week, was like just thrashed and somehow got lucky and got it back together and
And
finished out the event.
that's what makes drag and drive community so awesome.
Yeah,
Like,
it was a blast.
you can almost like everybody just rallies so fast. The fact that somebody came up to you, and I mean, we've done it with Blasco, we've done it with a lot of people where it's like, you got to start ripping that thing apart. You got to find out what's wrong. You don't
Yeah.
know if you can fix it or if you can't fix it until you know what's wrong. And if you just
Yes.
go, yeah, my transmission's broke, and
That's what my worst fear was. I was like, I either broke the transmission, the drive shaft, or the rear end. And I was like, man, my week's over. Like I made one pass at Brown County and I wanted to make some more. I was like, this is terrible. And I crawled under it and seen that it twisted. And I was like, all right, nothing's leaking. We're in good shape. We're fine. And got it back around. And like I said, the rest is history. It happened pretty quick. But
That's
it
awesome.
ended up, yeah, I mean, it worked. I used that drive shaft for the rest of the week. And then for my first, I want to say 4 or 5 8-second passes, and it had a really bad vibration when you would get in the fourth. And so I ended up having another one made, and now I carry that one with me as a spare. So if I need it, it's going to be there and not have it.
Yeah, it's
So
funny how
I do not
good idea
recommend.
to
I do not recommend aluminum drive shafts. Just FYI, not
Me
for the
either.
stick shift stuff.
I actually, yeah, I've had, well, up until recently, and it wasn't even the drive shaft that broke. I sheared the bolts right off, the U-bolts at the back. But
Oh man,
I've been running an aluminum drive shaft ever since. Now the one that broke, it damaged it, and so I had another Mark Williams one made. And
okay,
when I
that
took
maybe
it
it's
in,
because it's a quality drive shaft. I just had a local drive shaft shop make it, and I've had 3 buddies that are local that's had the same one, and they've all broke within the last 2 months.
oh, interesting.
All the
Yeah,
same exact spot, the same exact way. So maybe if it was a Mark Williams or a quality drive shaft company, I might not have any issues out of them.
yeah, because I think my first one was a PST, and that's actually the one that I use as a spare now. The Mark Williams one got damaged. And when I went and got a new one, he's like, "Oh, well, that last one was only rated for 900 horsepower." And I'm like, "Oh." So the new one is like a 7073, and God, it's beautiful, but it's bonded. It's not even welded. Like they glue the yokes into it.
Yeah, so kind of like they do the carbon drive shafts. Those are all bonded as well.
I think, yeah. So, but yeah, I got that in there, and like the other one must have had some vibration because this one is so smooth. Like there was like a window I could drive at that was really nice, like about 85 something. Now I'm like 93 miles an hour. I'm like, oh shit, we're speeding. I don't even
Yeah.
know it. So it's good.
I feel like it's really easy with this trans too. I had a factory Magnum in it last year, and then I don't know what 5th and 6th gear they put in this when they rebuilt it, but it's tall. I mean, I could be 80 mile an hour at 1800 RPM in 6th, and I'm like, I like
what rear
it.
gear?
I have a 390.
Yeah, you probably have a 0.5.
Yeah, it sounds
Yeah,
like
it's enough to where
0.5 6 gear.
first time I put it in 6th, I was like, oh man, what'd they do? I called him like, what gear did you put in here? I want my old 6th gear back because I could lug it in 6th and never worry about it. Now
Yeah.
I feel like I have to be over 70 just to put it in 6th to cruise.
You can change it.
Yeah, they told me they could, and the more I drove it, I just left it alone. I'm kind of used to it now.
It's actually
Yeah.
really easy. You just pull the tail shaft off. That's as far as you got to go into
Oh,
it.
okay.
Yeah.
I got you. That's easy enough.
Yeah. What do you know what yoke you have on yours? Do you have the regular thinner yoke, or did you get the bigger yoke
On the
that
tail
Tech is
shaft,
doing now?
I
Yeah, on the
just
Downshift.
scales,
just
yeah.
a regular one for now. I don't think I'll unless I need to upgrade it. I'm not going to.
Yeah, you'll know when you go to take the drive shaft off,
Yeah.
and it won't come off anymore. But I got a flower pot full of those too, but mine's 4,050 pounds, and
Yeah, a little heavier.
it's probably making 1,500 foot-pounds of torque or 1,200 foot-pounds or something, somewhere
Yeah.
around there. Hey, Bill.
It's a lot of
Probably.
torque.
So John, talk about
Yep.
your clutch setup. I mean, we know what clutch you
Sure.
have, but adjustments if that's
Yeah,
not too
so
secret to share.
no, base, I have 2.5 turns of base, and then I have let's see, 72 minus 6, 60, 66 grams of counterweight.
Okay.
And I
Yeah.
was having problems. I had 60 grams of counterweight and 2.5 turns of base. And when the boost started getting up near 30 pounds, it was overpowering the clutch. It was slipping pretty bad. And then I put 3 more grams every other, well, 1 gram every other finger, and it seemed to lock up a lot earlier, and seems to like it.
Wait a minute. You don't have the weight the same on all the fingers?
No, somebody told me to try it that way, and it worked out pretty well. I think if I put 6 gram, if I put 1 gram on every finger, it was locking up um about 1,000 RPM sooner than I needed it to. So I put 1 gram every other finger, and it's right where I need it to be.
Have you
Sweet.
had it apart since you've done that?
Yeah, I've had it apart this past weekend. Yep.
And what's it like? Okay, I'm fascinated here. Like,
Yeah, everything looks
I
just
thought you had
fine.
to do it evenly, but I guess not.
I mean, maybe I'm doing it wrong. I don't know. This is
It's
just
working.
kind of what. Yeah, it works.
No, I don't think. Yeah, I don't think you have to do it even. I mean, it might. I can't see the pressure plate. I think
Well,
as long as you don't tell a pressure plate, it probably
So
doesn't matter.
Because I guess
when
those
I had it
clutches
out,
are 3-finger also. They come in 3-finger. So if you
yeah.
do it every other, you're making it.
So the pressure plate's one piece. So when I had it out this weekend and I had all the base pressure off sitting on the bench, if you push one finger down, they all go down. So it might, you know what I mean? So if you're touching 3 out of the other 3, well, it touches all 6 at the same time, but if you push one down, they all 6 will fall down with it.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
yeah, is it the right way? I don't know. I never called him and asked. It was another stick shift guy that told me to try it, and he said
Huh.
it's fine. And so, word of mouth, I guess. I'm going to send it back in. I want to say November. I got a couple more races I want to attend, and then I'm going to send it back in to have them go through it and rebuild it before I do sick week, just to be on the safe side.
Will you send it back to Kale or back to Ram?
So, all right. So when I originally wanted this clutch, I called and talked to Kale. He told me what to get, what his suggestions were, base pressure, yada yada yada. He told me he was 6 to 8 weeks out on him. When I was ready to order, call him. Well, I was ready to order and I could not get a hold of him for like 6 weeks. I texted him, I called him. I know he had some stuff going on, some family stuff, and so I'm not mad at him. I was freaking out, didn't know what to do because I was afraid I was going to run out of time with that 6 to 8 week window. I have a buddy that's good with Ram. He reached out to Pat at Ram. Pat called me and I told him what I was after, and they sent me one out the next day. And I had it in 3 days after I talked to Pat. So I will most likely send it back to Pat at Ram and have them go through it and rebuild it.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it was kind of, I wouldn't say disappointing, but everybody talked Kale up and I got a hold of him. Like I said, it was just impossible to get a hold of him. And then go figure, 2 days after it showed up, he called me and just said that he had been busy, had some family things pop up and wasn't able to get to the phone and was getting back to everybody. And I'm like, oh, dude, no hard feelings. I understand, but I was panicking because I'm getting real close to 8 weeks would have put me at that 1 or 2 weeks before I was supposed to leave for back to the streets. And I didn't want to get to where I was waiting on a clutch and potentially not have a clutch when I needed it.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, and they have they're a lot bigger staffed.
Yeah.
That's the reality. Yeah,
And it's
so
the
they'll turn
same.
it around for you a lot quicker too.
Yeah, it's the same clutch. So I don't know what kind of deal they have going on. So I mean, I
Well,
paid the same price I was going to pay Kale.
yeah, I mean Ram makes that clutch for
Yeah.
Black Magic. So yeah, I mean I think either one is good. I know Kale is very busy.
Yeah.
And like
He told me
Rich
that
said,
himself. And
it's a smaller shop, kind of a boutique place maybe. But yeah, you got it and it's working. So that's awesome.
yeah, like I said, no complaints at all. I used the Ram hydraulic throwout bearing as well. I just kind of bought it all as a package deal.
And that's working okay?
And so after Go
Yeah.
ahead, Bill.
That was my only question with the hydraulic release bearing. That's
Oh.
working okay with that clutch?
Yeah, I had zero problems with it. I
Nice.
set it up the way Kale told me to set it up, and it's working great. I have the clutch pedal on a 0 to 5 volt swing switch. So basically, the two step, as soon as the throttle bearing touches the fingers, the two step turns off. And um, I mean, I have to make some adjustments every now and then just to make sure it's in the right spot and just adjust my swing switch on where to shut it off. But no, other than that, I've had zero issues with it. It's been really, really nice.
So after back to the streets,
Yep.
then you went to a track with a timing system.
Yeah. So
Tell us about that.
yeah. So I went back to the streets. It was all 8th mile, no prep, no time. We got back, just addressed. I had an oil leak and a couple other things we did. I addressed those, and then we went to Killcare up in Dayton, Ohio. Um, I hadn't been to that track in probably 15 years. Um, and of course was trying to do the same tune up that I had there and was having some traction issues and ended up being some settings that were on my end where I was just trying to give it too much boost off the line. Went back to the streets tune up and my first full quarter-mile pass was at 862 at 165, I think,
Jeez.
and ran it out the back. It felt great through the chute. Also my first time ever throwing the parachute. Um, Came up, their shutdown is a whole lot shorter than you would think. So through the chute, I'm on the brakes. I'm trying to make sure the chute blossomed, and I seen the retaining wall was kind of weird. So I didn't realize that the turn off was coming up, and I basically locked the brakes up and cut the wheel, and it got up on two wheels going around the corner, and they yelled at me, and they're like, "You need to slow it down." They're like, "You
Yeah.
need to throw this chute at the 1,000 foot." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" They're like, "You were up on two wheels going around the corner." And I was like, "No, I wasn't.
I tell you,
No, I
at
wasn't.
165, a lot of shutdown areas don't seem that long.
No." And it I went back and looked at all the GoPro footage, and I was like, "Oh, we were definitely on two wheels." So I went back up for my last pass of the night, and it ended up going like 880 maybe. They were in my head, so as soon as I got to the 1,000 foot, I threw the chute and slowed myself down. And I'm like, all right, I got a couple 8 second passes under my belt. I feel a lot better. And then it was more of just getting back to our local track, and I did some more 8th mile stuff, and I did was it Katie at the Hill? They had a no prep over there that we went over and did. Uh, just trying to bounce around, man. Like I'm having a blast for being new at this. Like I have no expectations. I don't expect to win. I'm literally just going to have a blast. If I win, I win. If I lose, I lose. No hard feelings for anybody. I'm having a good time right now.
John, what tire are you on in the back?
Mickey Thompson, stiff wall. It's the
3055S,
yes. What's the other one? 3055S and 30
54S,
No,
maybe. Like
it might
there's
be. I want to say it's a 3055S.
because there's a W as well. I think that's a 2810.5, and then there's a 2810.5W.
Yeah, there's two
Um,
different compounds on the Mickey Thompson stiff walls. It's 2810.5. One's a little softer, one's a little or not as soft. The first slick I ran last year was the really soft one, and I got told that was not a good slick to run for what I have. So now I have the one that's a little bit more firm, I guess, or not, maybe not as soft. I want to say it's a 305, 3055. I'd have to go back and look at my notes for that. But I run tubes now. I've never ran tubes until this tire as well. So that's kind of a whole new learning curve on that as well.
Have you thought about
what are you
Sorry.
thinking for sick week?
I'm gonna dial it back to 850s and let it be. My cage is only going to be good for 850s. So um I am going to get it certified in a couple weeks, and then I'm going to start setting up to get my license, my NHRA license as well. So I'm gonna try to get all that done before the end of this year, and that way
Yeah, you'll
I can
need
just
it
do
for
my
sick week.
yeah. Unfortunately, I seen that. I didn't realize it until afterwards, and I was like, "Oh man, just more hoops I got to jump through." So I needed to get it certified anyway. I've just kind of been lazy about it. It's a 850. I know it'll certify 850, and then I need to figure out because it's a full frame truck, what it takes to make it a 750 cert, and then I might tackle on that maybe in the spring after sick week, or maybe even next winter.
Yeah,
Just
because
curious. I don't know.
have you thought about a
you've been
radial?
820s, right?
Yeah. So I went on 28 pounds. It went 823 at 173. I think I guess that sounds right. 172, 173. That was off the trailer. I had no expectations of it doing that. I was expecting like a 850 because I think the previous best quarter mile was like an 850 or so, 860. And so I was like, it's got a couple more pounds of boost. I'll be happy with the 850, 840. And off the trailer is the one that you guys seen where it gets all over the place and went 823 at 173. Couldn't believe it, like completely blindsided by that, and went back up. My next pass, I was amped up. It went 829 at 155 because I threw the chute and it blossomed before I threw the chute and I was like, too soon, too soon. It blossomed and I could still see the time board and I was like, oh man, that's terrible. So it went 828 or something at 155, 156. And I was like, you idiot. That could have been another great pass. And that pass was actually dead straight. I actually went the whole 1320 that time.
Damn.
And
so maybe maybe our listeners don't know, Rich, but maybe tell them about your last trip to the track. Maybe maybe the shortened version, because there was a lot going on.
Yeah, I had 3 failures in a row. I had a Wilwood hub brake. I had the pin in the transmission brake after racing at the track, went 871 at like 155. And then I fixed the transmission, was driving the car to work the next day, and I felt something, and I looked down, one EGT was dropping off. I'll shorten this story up. I was on the way to work. I literally had the valve cover off. I'm checking lash on the way to work, and everything was good up top. So I thought I'm in trouble. And when I got home, I pulled the spark plug, and the spark plug electrode was bent right over. And so, I'm thinking, well, did it break the piston, or like what caused this spark plug to get smashed? And anyways, I knew I had to start taking it apart. And when I took the elbow off the intake, I had a splitter in there to try to help the airflow, because it was coming from the back. And I thought, it just in my head, it made sense to have a splitter in there. Well, that splitter wasn't in there anymore. It was lying in the intake, almost like a big cup upside down. And it's a regular 4-barrel, like you usually would put a carburetor on it. It was a 4500 flange. And so I pulled the piston out, checked the piston. It wasn't really beat up, bent 2 valves, put 2 new valves in, went back to the track. And
wait,
in the back of my head, I thought,
Rich, you forgot that a chunk of that plate had broken off and gone into the cylinder and bent the valve. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Cylinder number 6, because I was only going 1700 RPM.
Yeah.
That one chunk just went through one cylinder. And literally the way my wastegates are designed, they're like P-traps where literally the exhaust goes. And so I took off a wastegate and literally like poured out all this aluminum. And so none of it went through the turbo. So I was like super lucky. Like a couple of valves is really all that it hurt. So go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I I actually straightened the valve out and ran like that for a little while, because I've been struggling with my PPG gear set because it won't stay in 6th gear. So I thought, I'm going to order valves, but I'm going to straighten the valve and put it back in. And it ran like that, but I didn't really feel comfortable with throwing a whole bunch of boost at it with a valve that, may or may not have been compromised, but it was straight within a thou. There was nothing wrong with the valve that you could see with your naked eye, but who knows if there was micro, cracks or anything.
Ooh, that would have made me a nervous wreck.
Yeah.
I didn't race on it, but actually the more I drove it on the street, the more I kind of forgot. Anyways, there's a company in Florida. I tried to order from Manly, and it was going to take way too long. And Racing Engine Valves, REV, from Florida, 5 days. They made me new Inconel valves and shipped them up. So anyways, I put them in with the idea that I was just going to go test the car, and before I go to Sick Week, which I'm leaving, Six Smokies, I'm leaving for on Thursday. So I got just a short 34-hour drive to get there. But so I thought there's a track rental that I wanted to go up for, and I get up there for the track rental. I'm racing my buddy Brent Stevens, and Brent is a hell of a bracket racer. He's got a Vertigate shifter. It's a twin turbo 3rd gen Hemi and a 69 Dart or 60 something Dart, 70 Dart. I don't know.
It's sweet. It's sweet. Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful little car, just immaculate. So we go up there, and all I'm thinking is, I just want to tree his ass. That's all I'm thinking. I just want to tree him. So sure as shit, I tree him, and I've changed to 325 gears, and I haven't really ran it out much and played with it much. In fact, the last time, right before the transmission broke on the way home there, like I was getting like a 148 60 foot, and so I was a little worried that the 325 gear, I was going to struggle launching this 4,050 pound car. Anyways, I go up there, I make the pass, I kill him, I don't see him, I pull the chute at the end, I pull off, he pulls off behind me, I look at my draggy, and my draggy says like 835 or something. I'm like, 835? The quickest before that was at 851 at 166 miles an hour in Florida. And I was like, and then it said like 170 plus miles an hour. I was like, holy shit. And then Brent and I are kind of laughing at the end of the track, and finally I clue in that it's an app. It's not a time slip for the racetrack there. We pull up the app, and sure as shit, it went 834 at 171 miles an hour.
Nice.
And so huge gain from the last time. So,
and no tune-up change.
I got to tell the whole story.
No tune-up change.
And no tune-up change from the 871 at 166. And in the back of my head, I think that thing might have been sitting there since Streetcar Bragging Rights, because I've turned up the boost, but I really didn't see what I expected. It went 168 miles an hour in Streetcar Bragging Rights at like 867. And it just, something told me that it seemed like something was wrong. But anyways, go back to the pits. I drove through the clutch in fourth gear too, and I still went that time. And I'm like, I drove through the clutch and it went 171. This is going to be a good day. So I go back to the pits. I got the thing up in the air. Brent makes a quick clutch adjustment. He goes back up, makes a pass by himself, and knocks the tires off. I'm ready now, and I go back up with him the next time. And so I went 834. The next time we go up, I go 839 at 171, and I drive through the clutch more. Like I'm at 58% throttle in fourth gear. But we pull off the top of the track. And there was some goofiness at staging. Like I ended up leaving before Brent. He bumped through the beam, so he waited for me to finish, and then he went. So I'm packing my chute. I see him show up, parachute out, and he's parking the thing, and he comes up to my window like a little schoolgirl, and he's like, "You'll never guess what I ran." And I'm like, God, you're right. What'd you run? He's like, I ran at 833. And I'm like, you bastard. Because he did that to Bill, like all of Rocky Mountain Race Week.
Yeah.
Every time Bill went up, and Bill would run like a 869, he'd run like an 867.
Personal best, and then he'd do like one little bit better. I was like, oh.
Yeah. If Bill runs 865, he runs 863. And I'm like, you're just mean that way, aren't you? And so I go back.
It's good to have friendly competition, though.
Yeah.
Oh my God, we were laughing so hard. I'm like, you beat me by one number of my personal best that I've ever ran. Like, try to take the wind out of my sails. It was, and his personal best before that was an 859. So this was a huge bump for him too. Like, so we're both having a great day. This is like a Sunday, and but I drove through the clutch way worse. So I go back to the pits. I got to remove all the bolts, put longer bolts in, and get, I put like 3 grams per on all 6 levers. So I didn't drive through, because I put 1 gram on the first time and it didn't do anything for me. So I took a big swing. I put another 18 grams on the clutch. But while I'm doing that, like it takes a long time to change them all, and the thing's a little bit warm. And I'm still ecstatic about my 834. So I'm under there, and my brother comes back and he's like, Brent just went up and he ran an 829 at 167. And I'm like, you know what? That's almost better than being one number ahead of me. And so, and in the back of my head, I'm thinking, well, there's no way this tank's going 829. Like I want to go up again and see when the clutch doesn't slip, how quick it'll go. And so anyways, I'm thrashing away, and they call 15 minutes left and they're going to close staging. And I'm like, shit, we got to go. I haven't put any gas in it. There's no ice. I haven't packed my parachute. So my brother's putting ice and fuel in. Matt Blasco's packing the parachute, and I'm getting the last bolt in, and I get it off the ramps. I get it into staging. I get out of the car, get my coat on and everything, take a deep breath. I get myself all ready to go, and Brent sticks his head in the window and he's like, you got to go 828. I'm thinking, at this point, I can't remember what he went. I thought he went an 8:28, and he's telling me to go out and tie him. And I'm thinking, I don't believe whatever you're saying, man. I don't believe you. And so I go up there, and I'm literally like the last guy down the track on this track rental. So he can't come back. But I'm really, there's no way. I'm thinking in my head, there's no way I'm going to go up there and run that. So I go up there, make the pass, great pass, don't drive through the clutch. And I'm like, fourth gear's a long pull in that car. It probably is for you too, but I'm running at 325. So I go through the traps at like 7,000 RPM with my Pontiac, and I'm like, I pull a chute, and I'm thinking, don't blow up, don't blow up, don't blow up. But I actually tapered the boost off. Like I'm at about 15 pounds of boost going through the traps, and max boost is about 20.5. And so I get off the track, I look at my draggy, and it says 830 at 174 miles an hour. And I'm like, holy shit. Like I might have actually went 820 something. And so I'm packing the chute, and my dumbass finally remembers, oh yeah, it's an app. So I pull up the app, and it says 828.2 or something at 173.96 miles an hour. And so now I'm thinking, okay, I wonder what Brent's third number was, like, or fourth number was, if it's better. And so when I get back to the pits, Brent's like, no. He's like, I went 829. You beat me by one number. And I'm like, sweet. Like it was, yeah, I never expected to go that fast. So when I saw your pass at like 823 at 100 and what'd you say, 173 miles an hour?
173, yeah.
Yeah. Damn, that's booking her. To hear you've only been, dialing it in for like 3 years. Well, less than that on this combo.
Yeah, I would say just this season, really, because everything but the rear suspension's new. Engine, trans, rear gear. I had a 370 in it last year. Now I have a 390. So I'm just kind of, it's never been on a prep track. Everything's been no prep, or our local track at best is what they call bracket prep. That's on a good night. It's my best 60 foot's been like a 134. It hasn't been anything faster than that. It just wants to spin if I try to. But what's the reason you have a 323 rear gear? Is it just the RPM?
Yeah, 325. Yeah, I had 350.
Yeah,
I had 350, and I went to 340 to give myself a little room. I used that up. Then I went 325, and now I'm at freaking 7,000 RPM again, and I'm like, oh man, like I don't want to go any lower. But honestly,
but he's got
the only change I made between the last pass, or those three passes and the pass before, was I was like 1.5 pounds of boost on the launch. So I'm at like 7.5 pounds now, and it made a huge difference on 60 foot. Like it did a 135, which is the fastest that car's ever been in the 60. And it went 544 at 135.5 miles an hour or something in the 8. So super stoked. So because I want to do battle with you at Sick Week, I'll tell you right now, the first time I went to Sick Week, I was on slicks and I just struggled. I mean, I still won the stick shift, but the tracks are so sticky there that you end up running over.
Yeah, so here's my other dilemma now too, is that there's a 3,000 pound weight limit, right?
Yeah.
So if I can leave it the way that it is, I'm right at 3,000 pounds with the weight in the back, but it puts me at like a 52% rear bias for the no prep stuff. So I have radials here that I've been wanting to swap out, but my plan was to put radials on it, reset the suspension up for radials, and then take the weight out and do some radial stuff. If I take the weight out, that puts me back down to 2,700 pounds with no weight in the back. And then with me in it, it'll be 2,950. But is it, when they weigh it, is it with you, or is it just
no, it's with you. It's with
weight
you.
with me? Oh
yeah.
Yeah, I can eat 50 pounds before then. We're in good shape. Yeah. Okay, that makes me feel a little bit better, because I was like, man, how am I going to come up with another 200 because I guess how am I going to come up with another 250 pounds of weight where it weighs 3,000 pounds without me?
Yeah, no, it's you in the car driving across the scales at the end of the track.
Sure. So yeah, I have radials here, but I don't, at that point, I got to figure out where to put this 250 pounds. I don't know if I need to move it in front of the rear wheels versus being over the tailgate. I don't know what's going to help. So
if you only need 50 pounds,
well, Eh, with the 240 in the bed right now, it puts me at 53% rear bias, which is
Yeah.
apparently a big no-no for radials. You want a 52 to 54 front bias or more. So it's how do I move it from a rear to a front with 250 pounds on the tailgate, basically. So I'll
What do
have to do
you,
some.
if you take the weight off the tailgate though, what do
Yep.
you weigh? You said 2950?
Or does that
Oh yeah, you might be
include the
right.
weight? Does that include the
No,
250
Yeah.
pounds?
no, you might be right. It's 3175 with the weight. You're correct. I'm wrong there.
Ah, there you go.
I have yeah, so it's
Yeah.
3175. So if I take that out, it was 2950 with no weight in the bed. That's where I
Yeah.
even
So
have it wrote there too.
throw 50 pounds in the front and
Yeah,
yeah, you'd be good.
I have I have places to put weight up there.
So, so John, how much boost and RPM are you launching with?
So um I was leaving at 5,000 RPM in somewhere between 11 and 13 pounds, depending. Like I just kept adding boost to it, and then talking to some people, I dropped it down to 4,800 RPM, and I'm trying and launching at 48, and I'm trying to get it somewhere in the 14, 15 pound range to try to get a 1, 2 something 60 foot.
This dude's
I
rowdy,
don't know if it's.
Rich. He's
Hey,
rowdy.
look, I built this thing to party. My buddy
Yeah.
was it's that all the crap talking between good friends. They basically talked me into doing
Oh
all
yeah.
this, and so here we are. And I said, "Oh, I can play that game. Let's have some fun now." So it 4,800 and about I reset everything back up last night. I'm about 13 pounds on the two step. So you said you had some bad luck with three in a row, and myself had some bad luck. I went through I blew a head gasket about a month ago, fixed it. First pass at streetcar takeover, blew another one immediately, and then got it back together last week. Took it on a test drive, and within half mile, it pushed the entire rear main seal out. It didn't just leak; it pushed it out of the rear cover. So I'm hoping that's my three bads, and now we're back on the up and up, and I can start beating on this thing again.
MLS head gasket.
Yeah, so self-inflicted. Told you I'm pretty good at that. Um, we had an 8th mile race, and it was me and my good buddy, and we were the only two cars in True Street. So basically, it was a free night for us because it was a guaranteed back payout. So every pass, I was just trying to add a little bit more boost on the start and trying to get my 60 foot down. Um, I fat fingered a number in the wrong spot, and my truck makes boost. Basically, I do dome control. 12 pounds on the dome on my truck will make somewhere in the mid 20s on boost. Um,
Wow.
You
so
got some
I
serious wastegate springs in there.
I got two 60s, 260 millimeter wastegates with 6 pound springs on them. But it's all 3-inch crossover, and I have a 98 112 with a big V band housing. So
And
the
where's the
exhaust flows
exhaust?
really well.
Does it just come out the
It
hood
comes
or
out the
something?
it comes out the hood. Yeah. The
I think
only
I can
place I
see
can
the
go.
hole right behind your shoulder. I
Yeah.
can see the hole in the
Yeah.
hood.
It's a 5-inch dump. It's a 5-inch up pipe. Um,
So back pressure is not an
so
issue.
not at all. So
Okay.
when I was on my boost builder, I can tell it when to turn off, and so I wanted it to turn off at 14 pounds or 12 pounds, I think that night. Well, there was so much commotion going on with all the friends and family that was there. I put 12 pounds on the dome on at start. So I didn't catch it. I went up and raced my buddy, and it was on. I never the race went A to B perfect. I beat him. All the crap talking ensued. It was a good time. We loaded it in the trailer and we left. Went to get prepped for No Prep Mania up in Northern Ohio, and I noticed I had a leaking head gasket. And I just chalked it up as, hey, I've got 25 or 30 passes on this thing now at some boost. It's maintenance. Tore it apart, put new head gaskets on it, drove it on the street a few times, never had any problems. I went down to Streetcar Takeover and blew the head gasket top of third. Furious. I finally went back and I pulled that data log. I never pulled the previous one because it did what it was supposed to do. Um, well, that 12 pounds on the dome was making 26 to 28 pounds on the two step, and it basically nipped the head gasket. It nipped the head gasket on the two step, and I didn't notice it because I'm on the line waiting for the green to come down. By the top of third, it made like 57 pounds of coolant pressure. And that was it. So I came back and tore it apart, and I'm like, what did I do wrong putting the head gasket back in this thing? finally sat down and started comparing global files on my Holly, and the only thing that was different is I commanded 12 pounds on the dome at 0 mile an hour versus 5, like I typically did. And I was like, oh man, self-inflicted. So it's back together now. I reset everything up last night, went back through it again, and I got my two-step back dialed to where it's 12, 13 pounds on the two-step and not high 20s. So I'm hoping I have no more issues with head gaskets, because it's very
Nice.
frustrating. It's
It
very,
probably
very
Yeah.
probably
frustrating.
left pretty hard with that kind of boost on there.
Yeah, if you can see it on the two step, I started getting coolant pressure spikes, and it's just I think I left on 20 something pounds, and it didn't spin. Oh, it fell, it nosed over is what it did. I let go of the clutch, and it just fell on its face and spit and sputter, and I'm like, what is this thing has never ever done that, and then took off, and then it's because it was on so much boost. I don't think it was ready for. It wasn't ready. I don't know what happened, but yeah, nipped the head gasket there, and I got back in it, and I was like, man, this thing, because it was on like 30, 32 or 33 pounds of boost at that time. And I was like, this thing is screaming. I was like, it feels great. And then the head gasket went, and I was like, man, what am I doing wrong? And self-inflicted. I'm good at doing that stuff.
Yeah, I think it was at a Rocky Mountain Race Week. In fact, I was just watching a recent video that flashed up in my memory, and it was Kyle, and I just made a pass, and I was making a comment about, oh, I just got to wipe the window off because I had I was pushing coolant, and I drove it all the way home. And the closer we got to home, the more the more it was pushing coolant. Like we would have to stop every halfway through a tank of gas to put more coolant.
Oh, shoot. Nope,
Made it
this one,
home, but and the combustion chambers were all pretty.
yeah, this one
Actually, it
was
didn't.
done.
Pretty clean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I'm dry deck now, and I use an MLS gasket with an O-ring.
Yep.
And
Yeah, I
it
seen you have
works.
like the figure 8 O-ring. Yeah,
Yeah,
worked pretty
yeah,
well.
it works. Yeah, and you don't have to worry about pushing coolant. In fact, you
Yeah.
don't even know if you're having a problem. But
It's when you push fire. It's when you push fire, you know you have a
Yeah.
problem.
yeah,
No, I'm hoping that's it. I
Yeah.
used the ML. What I put on it this time, I did have factory LS9 gaskets on it, and those were great. And then somebody told me to use the Cometic MLX, so it's got an MLX on it now, and I'm hoping that'll. Like I said, it's been great, and then I fat fingered it and have been having issue after issue, and I'm just like, come on, I need a break. So 2 head gaskets and a rear main later. I'm hoping that I'm in the clear. I don't have to take it back apart again.
Yeah.
We got a race coming up this weekend, Cincy Street Nights glued edition, so they're going to be gluing it for the 8th mile race and try to go down and just start. I don't know. I'll probably put it on 29 or 30 pounds and make some passes just because I want it to go fast. I want to get my short track down.
Do you
And
do your own
go ahead.
tuning?
Yes, yeah.
Okay,
I'm kind of
nice.
self-taught on Holly,
Nice.
so I've been doing it for 5 years now, and I'm a lot better with Holly now than I was. I do all the customer Holly stuff too that comes through the doors, and so it comes pretty easy to me at this point. I've done enough of them.
Nice. Do you guys have a dyno there?
I do not. No, we used to have 2 local shops that I could rent them from, and they've both closed within the last year, and it just becomes a return on investment deal. I don't know if it's worth me buying a dyno. I do tune a lot of cars, but it's a lot of trucks and SUVs, just because we do a lot of the cam stuff. But
Yep.
I don't know if it would be worth me spending that kind of money for a dyno just for me to play with, or me and my buddies to play with. It's kind of, we'll see what the future holds, but for now, I don't foresee me buying one.
You might have a lot of customers
nice
coming
thing
in for
about-
dynos.
Yeah,
yeah.
it'd be awesome.
It's the nice thing about LS combos, though, right? There's so many of them out there, and once you get to know them pretty good.
Yeah, and I'm pretty fortunate. I mean, I have a highway next to the shop that's pretty clean and straight, and so I can just go out and do a second and third gear pull and most of these cars, and it's get the tuning done that way. It's not going triple digits. I'm not going wide open in fourth. Just when it gets to the higher horsepower cars, if they're 7, 8, 900 horsepower, then I'll try to find a dyno at this point. But the last shop just closed up, I don't know, 2 months ago that we would use. And so it's just kind of been in limbo on finding a shop that I can use a dyno. I do have a buddy that's got a hub dyno, but I think he's looking at like 3 or 4 months before his shop's set up and ready where I'm able to start using that one. Maybe in the future.
So I like to always ask this question. So
Sure.
tell us your staging procedure.
Well, I have a Holly and I have everything set up through Holly. So my line lock, I have a two-way switch, so on, off, on. One side is a manual line lock, so I could do my burnout. And then when I get to, when I get a foot away from the beams, I'll switch it to the Holly side. And when I get to the Holly side, I basically hit the brakes until I make 250 psi, and then push the
Mm.
clutch in. When I push the clutch in, it activates the two-step, or I'm sorry, it activates the line lock. And then from there, just kind of bump it in until I get the first bulb, get on the chip, build boost, and then bump it in until I get both bulbs. And then as soon as the clutch pedal gets to that, I wouldn't say all the way released. We'll call it the halfway mark. Shuts the line lock off, and I'm good to go.
What kind of brake pressure do you stage with, Rich?
Well, I used to, it's funny. I took my coolant pressure sensor and, cause I'm dry deck now, I just repurposed it for my
Sure.
brake pressure, and I actually didn't even calibrate it. I just threw it on there and picked a number. And so I just recently calibrated it. So I would say, yeah, right around the 250,
Yeah,
somewhere around there.
seems to be the happy spot. And then I was having, we'll say, brain fart issues on doing burnouts in the burnout box. It was wanting to push through the wheels, and I'm like, what am I doing here? And I was trying to do burnouts with 400 psi of brake pressure, and it would work until it started heating up, and then it would just push me out of it. And I'm like, what am I doing wrong? I cannot do a good burnout. And now, like 900,000 psi is that good number for a nice steady burnout where I don't roll and I don't move. And so
Yeah.
it's just all learning. I'm learning as I go.
Yeah. Well, you've picked up quite a bit in a short period of time. Like,
Yeah, this time last year, like I said, it was going 920s. I think it went like I don't remember what it was, 920 something at 151 or 152 mile an hour. And then this year, it's obviously gotten a lot faster.
Full second.
Yeah, when I was building it, everybody kept telling me, like, that thing's going to run sevens. It's going to go 170 plus. I'm like, there's no way. Like last year it was 150 was all I can get out of that old setup. And I'm like, there's no way. The first time I took it out, or when it went 823 at 173, I was like, holy smokes, this thing will go 180s. It's kind of mind blowing. I never expected it. I guess in the back of my head, I built it to do that because I picked the rear gear that'll get me to 185. But it's just kind of been like, it's fun. Like I said, I'm having a blast.
Wow.
Oh yeah. When
Wow.
when I saw your pass there, I'm like, oh, we gotta have this guy on the podcast.
I appreciate it.
He's driving, he's having fun. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, this.
And like I said, I like driving it. So like everybody has commented, like, I can't believe you didn't lift on that pass. Like I was like, dude, this is literally a trip up the road. This thing has been a street truck for 5 years, so it's never had traction from day one. So anytime you get on it, it would always point straight, but it would just want to wiggle a little bit. And so I'm like, this is how I've driven it for 5 years. So when it got a little loose, it didn't bug me. It wasn't like I was pointing at the wall and panicking. It was just like, oh, this is typical. Let's just counter steer it a little bit, and then down we went. Yeah, it wasn't bad.
It looked awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Makes for great footage. But if you watch the
Yes.
end cab, it doesn't look nearly as violent as it does from the backside of it.
Nice. Well, let's see. We've been on
Well,
here
I guess
for
we've been
almost an hour and a half.
Yeah, went by quick.
Should we hit the TKO questions here, Rich?
Yeah, before we do, we should do a couple of things though.
Sure.
Okay.
Vance Cooper just won his first date in his 4,200-pound Cadillac. So that's pretty awesome. So congrats to him if he's listening. And Chad Fegley went all the way to the finals against Garrett and turned it up because he had to, and he knew he had to, and knocked the tires off and rattled the tires. But good for him for running his first 6-second pass in drag and drive trim. Like, he's coming to sick week 2. I don't know how we're going to solve that problem, but
Shoot.
he can solve. The only way to solve that problem is he solves it himself with trying to run 6s.
I don't think I can get that fast.
No,
I'll be lucky.
no.
Maybe if I had 100-mile-an-hour tailwind, we might be all right.
Yeah. So yeah, congratulations to both of those guys. I mean, that was awesome. And congrats to Garrett too. We've had Garrett on here before, and they've got that thing dialed in pretty good. Like,
very smooth and consistent looking every pass.
That body makes a huge difference on the mile an hour.
Yeah, absolutely.
That thing traps huge. Yeah.
Yeah. And straight and sorted out. Like, that thing is working. Like, he keeps dialing that. I mean, he's running like 50 pounds of boost though. Like, man.
That's a lot.
But that's what Jonathan runs. I'm sure Nick is right up there too. And so it'll be interesting to watch World Cup when it comes
Yeah,
up.
they said the top 10 stick shift right now is all 6-second cars after this weekend. So the top 10 fastest are
Crazy.
all in the sixes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so funny. Last time I was out, hit a personal best of 865, and I was like, man, I feel like it's pretty good. And then Rich goes 820s. You've been 820s, and
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I'm like slow man on the block again. It sucks.
It's all fun though. It's all, as long as you're having fun, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. I better get the questions up if we're going to ask some questions.
All right,
Sure.
you want first gear, Rich? You want me to take it?
I got first one.
All right.
First car you owned or modified?
All right. So I started out with imports back in the early 2000s. My first fun car, I guess, would be the most memorable. I had a 1989 Dodge Colt GT,
Woof.
Was that the
Mitsubishi Mirage
Shelby, the
hatchback.
Shelby one?
No, it's they look like little Honda Civic hatchbacks.
Okay.
They were turbo 4-cylinder. Are you guys familiar with the 4G63 at all? The Mitsubishi, early 90s Mitsubishi. 2000 and I bought it in 2006. In 2007, I all-wheel drive swapped it. So at the time, it was one of 5 that had been all-wheel drive swapped, and the second one to be completed and running. So this is in, like I said, 2006 and 7. It went 1160 at 130 on 93 octane.
Damn.
Man,
Yeah, this is when
that's
I was
getting it.
19. So I built that when I was 19, and I sold it in 2009, and it kind of disappeared. And about 3 months ago, it popped back up. It had been sitting in a garage in Florida for 15 years or however long it's been, and it's actually it's back 2 hours south of where I'm from or where I'm at.
Nice.
So I reached out to the guy. I tried to buy it, and he won't sell it. And when he gets it back together, he's going to reach out to me. I'm going to swing down, take a look at it. I haven't seen that car in almost 20 years at this point. So I'd be
That's
kind of
cool.
excited to see my first big build still on the road.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's awesome.
All right.
Yeah, it's a long
So
time ago.
Second gear.
Yep.
John, what, in your opinion, has been the biggest technology change to move our sport forward?
Modern EFI.
Good
I feel
answer.
like that's huge, man. Like thinking back even 10 years ago, it's come a long way. Like I know the Holly's been almost the same for a long time, but dude, it's huge. Like I couldn't imagine trying to, like, thinking back to my DSM days, you were on it was nothing compared to this. You were just looking at 4 or 5 squiggly lines, and that you couldn't change much. But now it's just insane what you can do with it. And
What's so crazy is like your car, Rich's car, my car, you can drive it on the street, and it's like 1,000, 2,000 horsepower, and people don't get it. Like you don't need 2,000 horsepower to go down the highway, but it'll make that, and it's okay. It's happy driving on the street. It's nuts.
Yeah, and that's like when we're building these cars for customers too, and they're like, I would like 800 horsepower, but I want it to be reliable. I'm like, oh, it's LS or LT based. It's reliable. And they're like, well, I had a 383 back in the day and it was undrivable. And I'm like, don't think anything about none of that stuff. Like you can make 1,000 horsepower and it's still going to get 20 miles a gallon while you drive it to Florida.
Yep.
Like don't sweat it. Yeah. Modern EFI has been a game changer, I feel, for sure.
Huge. Yeah.
Let's see.
Okay.
All right.
We're in third gear now.
You're gonna palm it
1-2-1.
Palm it into third.
Yeah.
We don't want to money shift it.
Palm it into I saw a couple of 1-2-1s there.
Yeah, no money shifting. No money shifting.
Okay, this is the tough question. If you could spend one day with someone, who would it be, and what would you do?
Man, it'd have to be my mother. I haven't seen her in about 15 years. I'd like to spend one more day with her. That was I've been thinking about that one all week. I don't know who else I would hang out with. That's a tough question.
Well, we try to give those to you ahead of time, because I think springing that one without a heads up is like. And
I've thought it like auto sports or motorsports. I've nobody that I'd really care to spend a day with. I mean, I'm sure there's some people I'd be like, that's cool. But no, I think I'd have to go visit a day with my mom or have a day with my mom.
Nice.
Awesome.
That's good. All right, let's move it down into fourth gear. Blaze through the traps. What influenced you to build your cars?
Man, I was born with this stuff. My grandpa was a street racer and stick shift racer in the 50s and 60s. He had a Model A Ford that he built in the 70s that he drag raced all the way up until the 90s. I don't know. It's in my blood. I remember being at the racetrack since I was in diapers and the car shows every weekend with him. And his Model A, they used to do the car show circuit kind of like the drag and drive stuff now. He would drive it from Cincinnati all over the country. I've got pictures of that car in the 70s and 80s in New York and Texas and Florida. And
oh wow,
he drive this. There's a small block Chevy powered Model A, and they drove him and my grandma drove this thing everywhere. So I think him, and then he's still around now, so he's always up here at the shop bugging me and hanging out, and uh, he likes the truck. I finally got him to go for a ride with me about a month ago. He's never got in it one time and got back out and was like, "I'll never do that again." And I was like, "Oh, what even?" All we did was just drive to get some fuel and back. I didn't get on it. I took it easy on him, and he's like, "I'll never get in there again, but thanks for the ride." So
How
yeah,
old
I
is he
think
now?
he'll be 83 in December.
Yeah, same age as my dad.
Yeah.
um, yeah, that's pretty awesome. I think if I had to spend a day with somebody, I think I'd go back and hang out with your grandpa. Sounds like
That would be fun too.
that-
Yeah, back in the 50s and 60s. Yeah, he's told me all
oh
kinds of
man,
stories about street racing here and there. And he had a 57 Chevy. I can't think of what it's called. It was a wagon, but it had the panels all the way around it.
The
Delivery.
Nomad?
I think
Nomad?
no, is it a Nomad delivery or Nomad? It didn't have windows. It was a panel. Might be a delivery, 57 delivery. Anyway, it was a small block 4-speed car that they would do a drag race and street race all the time. And yeah, he told me stories about being at the track and breaking the rear end and them having to go to the swap meet, and they found another third member to put in it. They one of the other stories he had is they had a 39, I think it was a 39 Ford drag car that they raced, and this is when the local tracks they would go down. They go down Friday night for qualifying or whatever it was. How was it? He explained it to me. They'd have their good engine in it Friday night. They would go home, swap out a factory engine, go back Saturday because he knew they would come and tear it apart. They would tear the heads off, measure the cylinders, check everything out, tell him he was good to go. They would put it back together at the track, go home that night, swap the engine back to their race engine, and go back and race. And I was like, that's a lot of work. And he was like, hey, that's the gray area that you got to do if you want to win. And I was like, all right, I guess back then it probably wasn't hard to swap an engine. You had 3 wires and some fuel lines and it was out, versus now where it's a little bit more involved.
Yeah. It's a little
well,
bit
you
more
came
work.
by it honestly. That's for sure. That's awesome.
Yeah. It's in my blood, man. I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Nice. I think fifth gear's yours, Rich.
What, in your opinion, is the secret to stick shift racing?
Money. Oh man, no, it's got to be the drive and desire. If you're not, I mean, stick shift racing's fun, but it is more expensive than doing it with an automatic. Everything's a little bit more pricey. I feel like.
Well,
you just gotta.
Doesn't it depend though? I mean, if the automatic guys wants a Versace purse, that's pretty expensive.
Yeah. And I guess it just depends on how fast they want to go, really. Like I have some local stick shift guys they're happy with being 10-second, 11-second cars, and they go out and they have a good time. I'm not mad at them. They're having just as much fun as I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what's the secret to stick shift racing? Man, that's tough. Has to be the desire to do it. Because if you wanted to hit the easy button, it'd have to be throw an automatic in it and be done.
That's right. Okay, so
yeah, when I was at Streetcar Bragging Rights, I was chatting with Nick, and Nick was telling me he pulls his transmission out in between every round if he's got time.
Whew. Just to look at the clutch, or what's he doing?
Yeah, just to check everything and make sure the input shaft's good, and because he's putting so much horsepower down that he carries spares, and yeah, that there's a reason that he's the fastest right now.
Oh yeah, he's on top of it. Yeah, he's basically set this year out, hasn't he? After TX2K last year, I guess he had a couple engine failures that week.
I think he's going to try to make World Cup.
Well, he didn't sell the truck. He had it for sale and then he didn't sell it, so he might as well go to World Cup, right?
Yeah. He's a hardworking dude.
Yeah. Okay,
definitely.
So we changed up sixth gear question.
Uh-oh.
So this will be a fresh one for you. Tell us your first memory of making a pass in a stick car.
Yeah, it had to have been my all-wheel drive Colt back in 2006 or 7. I mean, I only made a handful of passes in that car, and I think one of them was the 1170 or 1150 at 131.
So I'm curious, what did that all-wheel drive conversion, like what parts did you use?
So I bought a 92 Plymouth Laser all-wheel drive, same as the Eclipse and the Talon, and took the transmission, drive shaft, and rear cradle out of that and fabricated it to the back of the Colt.
Okay, cool.
Nice.
Cool.
It was pretty cool, man. On the street, if you launched on the street off the two-step, it would leave 4 tire marks in first and second gear. It was pretty sweet.
Awesome.
Like that was like the fun part. It's like, hey, watch this. because it was so much lighter than the Talons, like it wasn't going to break anything. So you could just do all-wheel drive launches all the time, and it never broke anything. Only thing
That's
I ever
awesome.
broke was like a 2-3 or a 3-4 shift fork, and shifting in the third, it broke it. But
Nice.
I had that to
Nice.
where I had so many of those cars back in the day, I could tear the transmission apart and put it back together in an hour. So it wasn't anything to fix those on the sub. Get them home, pull it out, fix it, put it back in, be ready to go in a couple hours.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
John likes to party.
Yeah,
Yes,
look,
yes.
I'm here for a good time.
I look
Nice.
forward to who's coming with you to Sick Week.
My buddy Connor will be. He's the guy that does all my social media, all my YouTube stuff. He'll be
awesome.
there filming everything and editing probably while we're driving and trying to get a video up every day.
So plug
like I said,
your plug your social media stuff here. Tell us.
so we're new to all of this. The easiest way would just be going to my business website. It's jtrperformance.com. And then that will take you to the YouTube, our Instagram, the truck Instagram, the Facebook page, and basically everything is attached to that place, to that website.
Nice.
And then
Say-
but I'm
say it
looking
again.
forward to it. It's
JTR.com.
jtrperformance.com. Yep.
Okay. Awesome.
So yeah, but I'm looking forward to Sick Week. I'm excited. I can't wait.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I think other than Chad, like I don't know if any of the other fast guys are going to show up. Was I thinking that might
Is it Garrett? It's right in his backyard.
I don't think he'd be in stick
Garrett?
shift though.
Oh,
No.
yeah, I guess that car's not really a street car anymore.
they're doing the cheap car challenge, I think.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Do you think Finnegan will show up?
Yeah, but he'd probably be in the gasser class. He just messaged me while we were on the podcast here because I was asking him what input shaft, because I think I have a spare one for him, because they're supposed to be going to Six Smokies, so we'll see if he makes it or not, because he wrecked the pocket bearing in the back of the input shaft at drag week. But that's minor. We could have, if I was there, I could have fixed it for him actually. So I don't think he'll be in the stick class. Oh geez, I can't. Bob should be there too, and he can run
Gruber.
850s. I don't think he's upgraded his cage. I think he's only allowed to run 850s, and he ran 830 or something. So he's right there with you and I.
Yeah.
Like
Now, are you going to do this? Are you going to stay in 850s as well?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
Okay.
I pretty much have to, because I don't think my 83-year-old dad could get in a 750 caged car. And I just drive it so much on the street that to have a funny car cage.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
And then if I put a seat in there that would protect me on the street, then I would be able to see shit.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, this would be the first time I've had to slow it down in a while where I didn't just make the next move to another cage. There's lots of events like streetcar bragging rights. Pretty sure that's in Mexico, so I wouldn't have to worry about a cage there where I could run it all out. And
yeah,
and the 8th mile.
No, so what's the big race in Wisconsin that just passed a few weeks back, or I guess maybe a month or two ago?
It's called the Stick Shift Outlaw.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. I might try to make that one next year.
Yeah. I didn't make it this year, but if I don't, we'll see. I would like to make that one too. All the big names were there, I think, this year. And streetcar bragging rights is really good too, though. Like Josh Manning, Grubworm, Joel Granis. There's a whole bunch of those guys all at streetcar bragging rights too.
And
it's a little ways away, but
that's the
I didn't plan on doing any. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, sorry.
Also, I didn't plan on doing any of these big races. I didn't think this truck was going to be as quick as it is. When I built it over the winter, I just wanted to do a reliable 850 truck so I can do drag and drive stuff. And that was kind of the plan. And, well, we kind of blew past 850s by a couple numbers.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, you and me both.
Yeah.
So streetcar bragging rights, Rich, that's the one you ran heavyweight class in, right?
I did heavyweight and stick. Yeah.
Oh, you did both. Okay.
Oh, yeah, you did dual class. I forgot about that.
Yeah, but I was driving through the clutch every pass in heavyweight and finally bailed out on it because I was going rounds. Like I didn't expect to. I just wanted to qualify in stick, so that's why I went in heavyweight too, because I'm hearing stuff like the cutoff for the first class is going to be like 750 or something, and I'm thinking I just want to qualify in the second group, but I was one car away from qualifying in in the top group. So I was a lot higher up than I thought I'd be. So, yeah. Well, before we wind it up, we should congratulate Bill because you did go a PB, which is a big deal, and Brent went a PB by quite a bit,
Yes.
as well. So yeah, and well, you know who else is going to be there? Chris Hine is going to be there
Oh,
at Sick Week.
with his
He's
new.
still only got an
Is
850.
he with his
No,
nuke truck
he's
or?
no with his car, so he can only go 852. So there,
Nice.
we might have a stick shift 850 bracket class. Should be fun.
Yeah,
That's
I like
awesome.
good competition.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's so much better. Like when Brent is beating me by one number, or when Bill and Brent were going at it at Rocky Mountain Race Week. That's so much more fun than beating everybody by half a second. Like,
Yes.
it's
I got to figure out how much to dial it back is my problem because I've always just went, hey, we're going balls to the wall, give it the boost and don't lift. And so now it's like, well, I know it'll do this. So how much boost is it going to take to run 850s if I'm on it for driving? Like, is it
Yeah.
going to be 20 pounds? Is it going to be 22? Is it track to
I'm in the same
track? Like,
I'm in the same boat. Like I went 851 down there at like 17 pounds of boost. But now I want to go faster in the 8, so I
Yeah.
got to figure out like where do you knock it on its head to cut it back. But
yeah, or do you
it'll
just
be
cut?
fun. It'll be fun.
Now, if you go, because I've never been, if you let's say pass one, I go faster than 850, are they going to yell at me, or do I just got to go slower the next pass to turn that slip in?
You're breaking up. I couldn't hear you. I don't know if that's mine or yours, but
No, you're fine. If let's say the first pass I go, let's just say I go 840s, are they going to yell at me, or do I just slow it down for the next pass to turn that slip in? Okay,
yeah.
gotcha.
Unless you go out and do a John Dodson and run like a 780 with an 850 cage, you'll be fine. We'll save that for the last day when Keith Turk yells at us. You and I go up there and see if we can't run our 7-second pass that we want.
Perfect. That's what I was curious if the last day, if they just kind of turned their back on you a little bit and say, go ahead.
Oh
And
no, we'll get shit. We'll get shit
Yeah.
for sure. But
That must be the good
be
Florida
like,
air.
I just hooked it up. I just hooked up really well. I don't know what to tell you, Keith.
Oops.
Oops.
All right.
Yep.
Sorry.
Awesome, John. Well, don't go anywhere, but we'll wrap this
Nope,
up.
I'm here. Perfect.
So
I appreciate you guys having me on.
oh, thank you. This has been awesome for sure.
Yeah.
Anything else, Rich?
I don't think so. I think my next event is Six Smokies. I'm leaving Thursday, and then the first track is Alabama. So you can follow me at Canadian Chuck Norris 69 or just on Facebook and Instagram. I'll usually post my videos there too if you're looking for a link.
Nice. All right. Well, you should be able to find the Clutch Burners podcast on all the podcast platforms. And if you'd like to see us continue to grow, head over to stickracing.com and get yourself a Stick Shift Nation shirt, hat, or sticker. And of course, a Clutch Burners t-shirt. We'd love to see them out in the wild. So thank you guys. John, don't go away. And we'll call this one a wrap.